take it back, take it back, take it back, take it back, slide, 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 you finna go live, slide, you finna go live, slide, you finna go live, slide, I like you got some skate, skate, song, skate, song, skate, I like you got on some 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 skate, start for the jet, let's go, pull off with you, slide ding, ride ding, there ding, moving with you, drop it with you, time about the green light, let's go.
Yeah, it is, baby. What's up? What's up? What's up, Kane Nation? Let's get it going, boy. Y'all tough on Coach. Talking about you late, Coach. It is 6:33. Come on, man. You right. Guess what, Coach? Slap yourself. I'm sorry. Sorry I'm late. T. Hines already know what question I'm about to ask. Make sure everything looks good, sounds good. So I'm not talking to cyberspace, so I appreciate it. LMV in the building. Look at it. Baby Shaq. The blue wrenches flying in, boy. They know what time it is. Hey, we ain't playing with them. But anyway, we back in the building. Appreciate it. Everybody jumping in. Great Sunday afternoon. Ready to rock and roll. There go another blue wrench. Oh, look at them. Coach need to run some heel drills being late. Well, y'all, this is what I love. I love the fact that you all come in. The team is always on time. Because as the saying goes at my beloved Hampton University, to be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. And to be late is unacceptable. So guess what? It's unacceptable. So Coach got to be punished. And I'll do that later. I'll do my up downs later. But anyway, let's get this thing going, man. Beautiful Sunday. Great draft. We're talking about the draft here. Kicked off Thursday. We didn't have anybody in the draft on Thursday. All right, on the first day. I get it. I understand. And that's okay. But we also, let me make sure I got this right. The second round, we got a young man picked in Tyreek Stevenson, who's going to the Bears. So we appreciate you, Tyreek Stevenson, for bringing your talents back home to the crib from Georgia and helping us out. Because last year, as we know, John Ford got picked up 7th round, if I'm not mistaken. So big shout out to Tyreek Stevenson. Next comes Will Mallory. Will Mallory is headed to the Indianapolis Colts. He got picked up round 5. Excuse me, I couldn't see that. Round 5, he gets picked up for the Colts. And guess what? Making it, and I'm super proud of this young man, but DJ Ivy gets picked up in the 7th round by the Bengals. And that's huge right there. That's big shout out to them as well. Also, I do want to give a shout out to the list of guys who made it to the undrafted free agency list. And that shout out goes to Mitchell Agude, defensive lineman to the Dolphins, DJ Scaife, who made it to the Dolphins, Caleb Johnson, New York Jets linebacker, and Lou Headley to the New Orleans Saints. And for the punters, it's tough for those guys. The Moon and Stars got to line up right in order for you to get going with this deal. But big shout out to those guys. And I wish them nothing but the best. And thank you for what you did for my beloved Miami Hurricanes and all of that being said. This part of the year gets a little slow. We could definitely talk about some recruiting and commitments. And I let you guys be the experts when it comes to who you think is coming here. Call in, coach me up, let me know. Like I say, that's not really my thing in a sense. I hate to say it that way because there's so many things in that rabbit hole. And that's just a hole I choose not to go down because if you guys are into recruiting, like I know some people are, you never come out of it, man. And so, hey, there it is. So with that being said, that's where it is. But anyway, big shout out to those guys, man. I'm super proud of them for what they've done for the Canes. Like I said, Canes and the Cane Nation and keeping that tradition rolling around. Because last year was getting a little shaky, baby. We didn't think we was going to have somebody at first, but we did. Big John Ford goes in and saves the day. And now we come out at least with 3. Out of the 12 that were eligible to be drafted, we had 7, not necessarily drafted, but 7 in total that made it, whether it was drafted or undrafted free agency. but they're going to have their opportunity to do what they have to do and make that happen. So for the other 5 young men who didn't make it so far, I'm just say so far, man, keep pushing, keep grinding. There are different leagues out there. That's a blessing. You still got the XFL out there. The USFL is back. And so go ahead. You might definitely get your opportunity there. Do a great job. And then who knows, you might get another opportunity to make it to the deal. Let me see here. Oh, Reggie, that's interesting. Former Canes got drafted. I don't know who those are. So they went to other schools. Great point, Reggie. Great point. So, yeah, I would say let me know in the chat for those guys that may have left and went other places and got drafted. You know what I mean? We'll definitely check them out. I don't know if we want to take credit for them, you know, because it was fair as fair across the board. Nestor, yes. Nestor went to the Raiders. I saw that. Yes, Nestor went to the Raiders. I saw that. Trying to see who else we have here, guys. Anybody else? Let me see. Is there anybody else that made it to this deal? But anyway, yeah, let's get this thing going, man. Let's talk a little bit. Like I said, the draft was big. It was huge. You know, this time of year, like I said, does get a little slow. Recruiting starting to pick up some. A lot of these players, especially in South Florida, getting ready to start spring ball next week, Monday or tomorrow. Some schools have started, I think, this week just passed. So a lot of those commitment things may slow down a little bit. But I've been seeing a lot of guys across the board have been committing to different schools. And we talk about that a lot here on this channel in regards of the University of Miami picking up players from South Florida and getting some of the top level players, right? And how we kind of miss out on some of those guys. I saw, if I'm not mistaken, Jordan Lyle, who was a running back from, I was actually literally just getting ready to do his tape yesterday. I have the thumbnail ready and everything, right? Because he dropped his top 5 and Miami was in there. And yesterday he commits to Ohio State. I would have been hot. So I got to kind of redo his thumbnail and everything else because he dropped his top 5 like maybe a couple days ago, and then he ends up committing to Ohio State. So again, that was a big time running back, I believe, out of St. Thomas Aquinas. And so, you know, Ohio State is some people we're gonna have to back them off our territory, right? They creeping in on our boundaries, man. They keep coming down here. We have a real problem with them cats in Columbus, man. You stay from around here, man. Huh? We ain't got no more frozen cups. Get up out of here, man. Ryan Day. Get up out of here, man. Brian Hartline. Get up out of here. We ain't having it. Leave our Canes alone. All right. So, yeah, Brandon Enos. Yeah, they stole Enos. I hear you, normal guy. You know, that's what I'm saying, man. We got to be able to keep those type of guys, right? I really enjoy and love the fact that we got the guys that we do have, but we have to get the guys that are top, that are literally in our backyard. Like they literally are in our backyard. You know what I mean? What's up to everybody in the chat, man? What's up, Chris Canes? What's going on, everybody? I see Shad in the building. Everybody else, Reggie, Timothy, Fred, what's going on with you, man? Drosky 14. For real, Ohio State gonna get jumped like 69 if we catch them. I'm telling you, man, we gotta put a ban at the airport. I don't care if it's the Fort Lauderdale Airport, from West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Miami International, and all of the private airports. If Ohio State come up in here, man, hey, we got to turn them around, man. Get your behind up out of here, man. We got to have some, hey, can't come around here. All right. Let me do this, man. Let me pop this up here on the deal because we want to just talk a little bit, chop it up with the people. I wanted to have fun. Talked about the draft. It is kind of slow. Let me know what you think about certain guys. I may look at some of their tape. If you want to look at some of the film on here, we probably can do that as well, just a little bit. I don't know. Homestead General Airport. Yeah, get out of here, man. All right, let me see here. There are a bunch of points and a bunch of things we definitely can talk about. But this time of year, like I said, it does get relatively slow. Things move down, trying to catch up with these WREs. Also, guys, for you guys in there with the WREs, Coach needs your help. When I make these WREs, I need you to do me a favor. Help me out. I need you to repost these things into these different Facebook chats and everything. Let's get the algorithm going. You know, they're not doing so well right now, to be honest. We got some big time names and they're not doing so well. So coach needs your help. When you see them post, just repost some things, tweet them out, and let's make it happen, man. All right. So phone number right here is 862-799-9956. More than welcome. Please go ahead and call in and we can chop it up and we definitely can talk about whatever it is you want to talk about today. And we'll see what the deal is. 145 people in the building. Thank you so much. Hit the like button, subscribe button. And while I'm waiting on the call, let me go ahead and give a shout out to my man, Alex Tabio from Pioneer Mortgage Funding. Okay. He does a great job with all your home financing needs. Anything you need to do with home financing, give him a call. His phone number is 305-205-1697. All the information is in the description. First hometown buyer, VA loan, entrepreneurs. Don't worry about a pay stub. Just give him a call. All right. And he's got a very aggressive program. I think all you need is a 640 on your credit. And he can work with you. So talk to me. All right. It says you got to hashtag the player's name. Okay. I try to make sure I put their name in the comment section. And I do that. I may hashtag their name in the deal as well. But yeah, we'll do that. I actually tag the players when I tag it on Twitter. They don't even retweet it. I'm like, golly, these cats here, boy. Oh well. It is what it is. But like I say, phone line is open, 862-799-9956. Please go ahead. Feel free to call in. Let's talk about it. Let's be about it. Let's see what's going on with these Canes. Is there any other Cane news going on right now? Everybody's kind of off right now. Everybody's onto the recruiting trails. Everybody's out and about amongst the country looking for top talent. And I need to hear something else. Let me see. Shad says, Zach Smith said when he was recruiting for OSU, that if a player was considering UM, he knew they weren't serious about getting developed. Golly, that's tough, man. Y'all tough, man. y'all, well, y'all be hating on these beautiful Canes, man. Y'all go ahead and subscribe now and join the team for free, man. All right, here we go. Yeah, we got definitely to make Zach Smith eat his words. I ain't seen this podcast lately. I wonder if they still got that podcast going on. Maybe I'm out there algorithm. Something's changed a lot here with YouTube and their algorithm, and a lot of people have not been getting notifications and so forth and so on. So I don't know. But anyway, the transfer portal's out. I believe the transfer portal is closed today. I believe it closes today. And so if you're in or you're out, you better be in or you better be out or you're going to be stuck. That's what it is, man. Oh, you say I watch it every day. I see you, Shad. So, yeah, I guess, like I say, I guess it is, man. But it might just be out of my algorithm. I start typing in something else, and it pushed it out. All right. Y'all know why y'all shot a call in. Maybe you can't see the number. 862-799-9956. Let's get it running. I need to play some music for y'all. Is that what I need to do? Coach over here, boy. Y'all done left old coach. Spoon Digger, what's up? I don't want if this Coach Spoon. Is that Coach Spoon? Let me know. Let's see here. Man, there's so many players, right? Like you saw that Cane Juice Cup. There's so many players, that as I look at this deal and you start doing the WREs and you breaking these guys down, there are so many players out here coming out of high school. And there's so many sleeper players, man. Like yesterday, I did a media day here in Central Florida. So big shout out to AG and Top Recruits Now and them guys. I did a media day. And there's some good-looking players that's not on anybody's radar, bro. I'm talking about Osceola got some linebackers that look great, boy. I'm talking about Osceola Cowboys with a K. They got these two dudes look awesome. Eustis in Lake County, they got a linebacker. Like I said, they look the part now. I don't know what their tape look like. But, I mean, it's some nice looking kids that, as coaches say, look good off the huff. That's how they call it. When you look at them, you're like, golly. I mean, my man yesterday I saw from Osceola, he probably been about 6'3", 222 as a junior. I mean, he looked the part, bro. He looked the part. Now they say he can play. I don't know if he can or not, but they say he can play. That cat is a killer, man. And then the other linebacker, I believe from Eustis, his last name is Menace. His last name is Menace. And boy, let me tell you that. Oh, and Deshaun Trotman, his younger brother was there from came in yesterday. He said he better than his brother. He talking straight trash. So his younger brother was there from Edgewater, same high school. And he said he ready to get it down, coach. So that's good, man. That's awesome. I don't know what y'all scared of. Who's scared to call in? What's up? Chris Caines, where you at? Huh? You can't talk? I don't know why nobody want to call in and talk to coach today. What's up, man? Usually I cut this thing on, the phone line be jumping, man. All right. Oh, I want to bring this up. So we talking about recruits. I broke down Colin Simmons. He's a linebacker out of defensive end rush guy out of Duncanville. And I heard he was down in Miami. Boy, let me tell you something, boy. If we get that cat right there, boy, I ranked him. And he a blue chipper. Blue chip. You got the blue chip from coach. That dude, that can rock, man. I see you, Chris. Can I have to call him out for him to call in? Chris, what's up with you, baby?
What's going on with you, coach? What's up with you, man? I'm at work right now, but we a little slow. So I just decided to call in and,
I got you, man.
For a little bit, man.
I appreciate you, man. I don't know if you got me on speaker or Bluetooth or whatever, but it's all good. I know you at work, man. There's a lot going on, but listen, man.
Hold on. Here we go. Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's good.
All right. Yeah, I had you on the Bluetooth. So
yeah, man. I just tell people all the time when y'all call with Bluetooth and stuff.
But just want to go ahead and just call in and just say, I'm proud of them Canes, man. Them pro Canes, all them Canes. They said that we wouldn't go. We went 5-7. We wasn't gonna have nobody going to the draft. Oh, they gonna be undrafted. Oh, they ain't gonna do this. They ain't gonna do that. Even my man DJ Ivy, shout out to him, man, and his family, man. My man went 245th, but my man is in the daggone NFL, boy. And shout out to them Noles that only got one, but you went 10-3 though, right? Or 10-2, right? 10-2, 10-3. But y'all got one in there, right?
Well,
we go 5-7, and we finish better than y'all and everything.
Listen, it's some Noles be up in this chat. So Noles, I need to hear from you. I need to talk to you because with that being said, hold up. Now, all I hear from the Noles fans is y'all only got one cat in, and they losing a bunch in the transfer portal. That boy Coach Prime say, bring that here, boy. I'm finna tear all that up. I guess his boss came. He had to jump off the line right quick. You know, that boy didn't want to get put in he didn't want to get to the principal's office. But man, that is funny, man. That Florida State, like I said, they did a good job and they got one guy in. According to I didn't look it up to see. Yeah, you call him back in now. Yeah, man. I thought you was about to go to the principal's office. I saw you had left. Every time Chris can't call in, but I need y'all to do me a favor. I need everybody to donate 1 penny. 1 penny. If I can get 100 people to donate 1 penny, we can give him a full $1 to help out with the Cricket Wireless plan he's on right now. So I need 1 penny from every person to help out with my man right here. Chris, what's up?
Man, my fault, man. I'm not at the house, man. Multi-billion-dollar company got this ghetto-ass Wi-Fi that ain't working. I moved the wrong way and it cut off on me, man.
So you got Wi-Fi calling?
It ain't my phone, man. I paid the bill. It ain't me.
Hey, dog.
It ain't me, coach.
That's between. Hey, I just asked for 100 people to donate 1 penny. We'll send that to you, man, for the Cricket Wireless, man.
No, don't give it to me. Give it to the company that I work for. They the ones that got the bootleg ass damn Wi-Fi.
Why you on Wi-Fi
It's not
on
even
your phone?
Wi-Fi. It's just Wi.
It's
It's just why. It's not even Wi-Fi. It's just why. Why does this shit keep going out? Why does it? Man, I'm telling you.
Oh Lord, you know what your boss gonna say? Why you on the phone? Why you at work?
Well,
It's
if
all
y'all had
good,
some
man.
more work to do, I wouldn't be at work if y'all had some more work for us to do. So why y'all ain't got none for us in the first place? Huh?
Hey, you better
Don't
know
worry
that.
about why mine's in. As long as I pay my bill, that's all that matters.
You know what, Chris? You better be
I
careful.
make this powder.
Huh? You make what?
Oh yeah, I make this powder. Yeah, polymerizer powder. I make it for like, and it's a water treatment where I work at in Riceboro, Georgia. We take dirty, like filthy, filth water. We put the polymer, the powder in it, and it attaches all of the excrements of the dirt and everything from it and change it into clean water. So it's like we're a water treatment plant basically, but we can do stuff for baby diapers, the stuff that soak up the liquids. We make that, makeup, lipstick, lotions now, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, man.
That's good, man.
That's what I do.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
Best I can tell you. I don't know what else to tell you, man. I don't know if I want to drink it, but I appreciate you cleaning it for me. Thank you, man. Straight up.
Oh no, damn that. No. You know good and hell well I ain't about to drink it. I like to see how it separates and everything like that. But I damn sure ain't putting my lips on nowhere near that water. And I know where it came from.
So man, I'm gonna leave that alone. I ain't finna get into that, man. This is what I need to hear from you, man. All right, so we talked about the draft. We talk about the draft. We got this cats in here, man. Like I say, shout out to Will Mallory. And I think Will Mallory's gonna have to really show his worth for the Colts. He's coming in a little late, but I mean, so far as 5th round, but he's definitely got to show his worth when it comes to the Indianapolis Colts. I do believe Tyreek Stevenson will definitely contribute to the Bears. And 7th round, just because you were drafting the 7th round is not a guarantee. So I pray that DJ Ivy produces enough where they keep him, whether it be just some special team stuff until he can earn his way through. But I really believe that's a young man that he's done everything right. Some people are mad at him. I've always said this. I don't like when the fan base does this to our players. We'll say that a player sucks. We'll say, oh, he sucks. But in the same breath, we'll say he's not being developed. And I always felt like you can't have it both ways. It's either he's not that good because he wasn't developed, or he has been developed to the maximum ability that he's capable of, and he just can't get the job done. But you can't have it both ways. He sucks. He's terrible. And Manny Diaz not developing anybody.
Right. And another thing, Coach, that I don't like, along with that, you're playing with a double-edged sword, and then you sit here and say, oh, he sucks, he's this, he's that. But can you get your lord ass out there and go do what he do? Oh, I don't think so. Okay? You sitting up here, you complaining, you whining and complaining about what he's not doing. Then you saying he sucks. Then you say he's not being developed. But hold on and wait a minute. I don't see you putting on no pads. I don't see you putting on no cleats. I don't see you putting on not one uniform.
That's fair.
Okay? So before you sit here and try to bash and try to downplay these kids, how about you walk in their shoes? Especially the ones that have never done it.
Mm-hmm.
That never put on a helmet, that never played the game, are the biggest critics. Those are the ones that I can't stand, Coach.
And you know what? But guess what, Chris?
All of them.
But Chris, they all going. That's not going to ever stop. Me and you will be worm food, and that still ain't going to stop. But what I do want to say is, you can't have it both ways. If you want to say the young man is not good, I'm not talking about DJ Ivy. I'm talking about anybody. If DJ Ivy is not, or whoever this player X is not good in your eyes, then you can't say that the coach ain't coaching either. If you're going to say that player is not that good, then you have to say that coach is doing all he can with that guy. He just doesn't have it. And you can't say, oh, well, the coach sucks. Then that means what? The player's he's not being fed. He's not getting the tools he needs in order to make it happen, man. But no, definitely, man. Let me ask you this real quick The WRE's been jumping out, been breaking these guys down. What you think about the ranking system we got so far, the chips?
Oh, I was gonna tell you about that ranking system, boy. Look here. I ain't never been to Vegas, but I've been to Biloxi. I love that chip system. I love it, Coach. I love it. That's one of the best features I've seen on there, man. I love it, man. And I like how you break it down. And I like how you put certain chips with certain things for certain attributes. It gives it not only do we understand what you say, but we actually get a visual effect of what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. I love it myself, man.
Yeah, and I tell guys all the time, like one guy said, well, Coach, how do you say 6'2", 190 is not elite size for a wide receiver? And you have to remember, like I told y'all, when I always brought up the ranking system and the SAR system, that's those companies' business. That's their algorithm. We may not like it, whatever, but that's on them. And that's what guess what? Because we want it both ways. When we get a guy that's a 5-star, guess what the first thing we say? We got a 5-star defensive lineman. But then when he's a 3-star and it don't fit in our favor, man, how he a 3-star, blah, blah, blah. So what I wanted to do was I said, you know what? I bet, when we break them down, I kind of do the same thing. But now I said, let me put a value on it. And what I look at is the actual tape. I'm not looking at camps. I'm not looking at potential. I'm looking at where he stands at this particular moment. And when you're talking elite, I think the word elite gets thrown around too loosely. It loses its value because anytime somebody wants something to be special, they call it elite, especially these 7-on-7 team. Every 7-on-7 team is now the elite such and such, elite this and that.
Right.
And so when I say elite has to be you on this end of the bell curve, you on the very small end. So if you're a wide receiver and you 6'3", and you 205, that's elite. You starting to get that's elite as a junior. But if you 6'3", 180, that's not elite.
Nope.
That's not elite. You want to know why?
As my man Holson would say, they're a little light in the ass.
Yeah. But you want to know why? Because elite, the average is for a wide receiver in power, and these are all ranked looking at Power 5 level. Average is 6 foot 180, 185. So you 6'2", 190. That's not elite. You're a little bit above average. That don't mean elite. Elite is, coming out of high school, coming into college, Julio Jones. You understand? Derrick Henry. We talk about size. And that's why I broke it down to size. Right. Like I broke it down to category. Like, for example, you can have elite size.
I like that.
And here's a perfect example. Collins Achiapong. Elite size, bro. What was he? 6'7", 255. Right? Yep. But he's so raw and so green. Yep. That's the only blue chip he gets. So you take the average and you make it all happen. You understand? So that's where I am when it comes to that, man. Yeah. So no, but I'm glad you guys like it, man. Like I said, we got to get the algorithm working a little bit better though, because it's killing me right now.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely going to do that for you though, Coach. I'm definitely going to put them out there because you be breaking down knowledge, and ain't no reason why in the hell you don't have no coaching job. Hey, shout out to everybody. Hey, get this man a job, man. Get this man a job, man. He know what the hell he's doing. Put him on staff some damn way, preferably Miami, But I'm just saying, just get this man a job. He knows some things, man. I know y'all listen to the shows. The players listen to the shows. The coaches listen to the shows.
I appreciate
y'all
that,
ain't
man.
Worth a damn half the time. Give him somebody that actually knows how to break this stuff down. Give him a shot.
I appreciate that, man. He ain't
no damn Nova. Thinking ass. Oh, sorry, Coach.
Well, here go the same thing, man. QB said elite and generational. Yes, generational is the new buzz term. Generational talent. Meaning, think about what you're saying when you're saying generational talent. I mean, it's one of one within this generation.
Right. He's like the creme de la creme of the generation.
He's the only a generational talent.
Right.
And now that's everybody. Right. Oh my God. He's a generational talent. He's what?
Right.
Bro, that's talking.
See, people throw these words around, Coach, like you said, like they throw elite around. They throw these words around and they don't understand what that means. You know what elite? I don't want to be the old guy here, but I'm just saying. A 2-star Ed Reed, Sean Taylor, who's what, a 4 or 5-star? Willis McGahee, Edrin James. You see what I'm saying? Ray Lewis, Michael Irvin, Reggie Wayne, Weezy as he like to be called. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Those are, and those are just to name a few.
I mean, if you think about it, you talk about but if you think about generational talent,
average for them.
Yeah, but hold on, Chris. But if you think about generational talent, you must got the phone away from your ear. Generational talent.
I'm right here.
Generational talent, like I said, it's 101. And we're not talking about greats in Pro Bowl. Like, for example, you have Pro Bowlers, then you have the elite of the Pro Bowl, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's always levels to everything. Every Pro Bowler is not the same Pro Bowler. You understand what I'm saying? Like, every good college player is not the same dude. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I look at generational talent, when I talk about Reggie Bush, I'm talking about college now. I'm going NFL. I'm talking about college.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Bro, you talking about a dude was electrifying, did it all, caught the ball out the backfield, make you miss, outrun you, put his shoulder down. Ugh. That's tough right there, man. Yeah, definitely, man. I'm waiting on some more callers in here, Chris. If not, I'm gonna take your whole shift over, man. So 862-799-9956. It must be
I still get paid. Yeah,
I've heard that. It must be a game or something on. Is it a playoff game on? Maybe that's what it is. Usually playoff games come on.
Yeah. I think the Lakers. No, not the Lakers. The
Heat.
No. I think the last game that played was Sacramento and Golden State. And Golden State won that, so it's going to be the Lakers and Golden State. And then you got let me see who else. I think the Nuggets and Phoenix. I don't know if they play tonight though, but
let me pull it up.
And then they got the Heat and the Knicks, and the Heat won. Yes, sir. And then you got Phoenix and Boston. I mean, I'm sorry, the Philadelphia and Boston. Excuse me.
Let's see who playing today.
But I don't know if they play tonight.
Somebody
but I know the Heat played today.
The Heat pulled it off, huh?
Yeah, 108-101 in the Garden. And the thing is, I'm from New York, Coach, and I'm a Heat fan.
There you go.
Know how hard that was for me?
No, it ain't that hard, baby, when you see greatness. I tell people that all the time. It ain't that hard when you see greatness. It ain't that hard.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. But I'm going to tell you something, though. I mean, hey, I don't know, Coach. I don't know what you're going to have to do, man. You might have to go to the night shift like I had told you before. You might have to get it loose in here than the taffy apple on false teeth, Coach. I don't know what you're going to have to do, man. You're going to have to do something.
Coach got to do something, man. All right, here we go. Google man in here, man. The Google man in the building. I need a Google man to call in, man. 862-799-9956. Right here on the screen. Bingo, dingo. There it is, man. Y'all go ahead and call in. Oh, we got some more callers in. Well, let me grab the next caller, man. Get back to work and keep separating that water for us, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Oh, man, no problem, man. Anything for the environment for y'all, man. I'm going to holler at y'all. Go
Appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot, man. Big shout out to Chris Kane for saving me, old coach. He was out here drowning. He's out here drowning on the mic by himself, man. All right, here we go, man. We got Muhammad in the building. What's going on?
What's going on, Coach? How's everything?
Good. You ain't know I'm getting used to these phone numbers, huh? I know them when they come in now.
Huh. I know. I was like, oh, shit. There, you got to memorize. I got you.
Got to put it up right here. What's going on with you, baby?
Nothing much, man. Just got done watching, you already know, Heat Culture. We got that W. Even though Jimmy rolled his ankle, we still got the W. But, you know, going on the topic of the draft and everything, you know, we had 3 players drafted this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, going on the whole generational and you know, an elite. I mean, Coach, we haven't had either one of those types, in my opinion, in a while. And what do you think about that? I mean, when you see our roster, do you see any elite / generational type players?
Well, I said this, right? I've always talked
Yeah.
about us having difference makers, game changers, difference makers. And when I say that, Muhammad, people try to get on me because I think the fandom overwhelms them. And this kind of goes back to what I'm saying. Just because we get the top players from our area, that doesn't mean they're going to end up being generational talent, but the likelihood is higher. Now, does that mean that a guy that doesn't play, he's still a good talent and he may turn into that later? Yes, most definitely. You understand what I mean? But we're still losing that battle right now, and we have to win ball games in order to get those guys in. I've said numerous times, and let me play my Back in the Day song.
Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again.
So back in the day, we used to get eight of the 10 top players or 9 of the 10 to come to Miami, right? What do I mean? We used to lose a Chris Gamble to Ohio State, but we would keep all the rest. Andre Johnson, da 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 da. Now we're keeping the Chris Gamble, and they're getting all of those players. Okay?
Right.
And so that's what happened. So no, have we had a generational talent in the last 20 years? The only one that pops out of my mind, and I'm only speaking from the college level player, the college level player.
Right.
And I'm not saying this because of fandom. All right. And I'm not saying this. I think Duke Johnson was that guy for the Canes through those 20-year stretch, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think he's the guy that
because he did it.
Yeah, because imagine a cat like him who imagine being on an 0-1 Canes team. Oh my God.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Like, imagine that. You know what I'm saying? Imagine him being.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that would be, and that's just the only reason I wouldn't say Hester had the generational abilities, but Hester was never consistent. And this is not a knock on him. I heard the story about Randy Shannon and what happened to him and so forth. But unfortunately, that's what we have to go off of.
Yeah.
Hester had the generational abilities, but he was everywhere. He was at running back at one time. He was at wide receiver. He was at DB, and he never truly excelled at any of those except for the return game. If I'm not mistaken. Now, he did make plays. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm talking about elite status player. You understand what I'm saying? At any one of those positions.
Right.
And correct me if I'm wrong, chat, or even Muhammad. But go ahead.
No, I agree with you, Coach. I mean, and, I think we would have had, as far as, like you said, in college, we would have had, I think, elite as far as Gregory Rousseau, had he done it, I feel, another year. I think he did it 1 year. He had, led the nation in sacks, I think it was that year or something like that. But I think, and then he sat out the following year.
Yeah, he did. I still think he played extremely well, but I don't think he was generational or elite, I would say.
No.
Yeah, I think he played extremely well. But you know what I mean? You know when this, you know what I'm saying? Like, you like, hold
up. He wasn't. He wasn't no Chase Young or something like that.
Yeah, like this cat built different, boy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, right. No, you're right.
Yeah.
He did it more off of a high motor, but like you said, I mean, in the last 20 years, it's guys like him and Hester who are the closest thing that we've had. I mean, in my opinion, to difference makers and elite players, I think hopefully, Mario can, change that in the years to come, that we can have some of these, generational elite type players, because Coach, I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong. I don't see programs winning on that type of level, the elite level, without those type of guys on their roster.
You're 100% right, bro. That's why you win. Listen, we would never call Nick Saban the GOAT if he don't have these kind of players. If he doesn't have a Julio Jones, a Mark Ingram, an Amari Cooper, a Jared Judy, a Devontae Smith, like if he doesn't have these kind of guys, He's not an elite coach. He may be the smartest coach on the football field, but he's not elite because he's not winning the ball game.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you're 100% right, Muhammad. It comes down to talent.
And and that's another thing why I know I'm going off topic with this, but another thing why I look at our season, our roster, and think that like you said earlier, I think that we got a 7-win team. Looking at the talent that we have, hopefully in the years to come that'll change. But that's what we're looking at right now.
Nah, yeah, you're right, man. I think we're at 7 wins right now. It's a lot of turnover, culture change, coaching philosophy. So yeah, we got a lot to work on, and hopefully we definitely. I'm not gonna say hopefully. We definitely gonna pop out 7 minimum. You know what I mean? All right, Mom.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Appreciate that. I got a list up here going now. Nah, you good, baby, man. Thank you, man, for always supporting, brother.
Appreciate you.
Where are you still in Savannah? Are you still in was it Savannah? All right, you hung up on me. Well, shout out, Muhammad. Put it in the chat. Make sure you're safe out there. I believe Lakeland. I believe you told me we're in last. All right, we're going to the one, the only Google man. Google man, talk to me, baby.
What's up with you, Coach Hank?
I'm good, baby. What's up, man? Sound like you just get out of bed.
No, I'm chilling. I'm just calm down today. But I feel like when I seen your thumbnail, I said to myself, thing about college football is, well, it's still good, don't get me wrong, but I just love the old school college football back when Miami Hurricanes, Florida had, 5, 6 dudes coming out in the first 2 rounds. But I think what happened was when the internet too. Like I told everybody when I first heard about the internet coming along, I said, man, I don't like this shit because I'm so old school. Man, when I was 15 years old, I had a 45-year-old soul back then. I'm 41 now. So anyway, but college football, like it's so many games on television these days, so these kids will get noticed in any school. And so, but thing is, so anytime I see a Miami Hurricanes last season, them boys didn't make a bowl game, or they did make a bowl game. I don't know, they made a bowl game, but Texas falling off, and now the Cowboys ain't won a Super Bowl in a long time, but the Cowboys need to make the playoffs. These teams ain't making. These Miami Hurricanes and Florida State being like this not normal, football I used to watch. So. Yeah, so that what I think was going on is it's so much parity out these days, and also like back in the days, for example, like Nebraska, they're real cold, but these days ain't nobody finna go to Nebraska, and I don't know. I'm starting to think like Deion Sanders has some trouble getting kids to go there because it's Colorado and kind of cold. So basically, these big kids from the South probably ain't gonna go there. But I don't know. But I think that was a big problem when all these channels was available, or all these networks came along, and now these kids can go to any school. They go to any school and get noticed. So I think that might be the biggest problem for these kids going to the Miami, Florida State, and the Texas Longhorns, and all these type of schools that were really back on 15, 20 years ago. That's my take on it.
I feel you, baby. Yeah, like I said, you mentioned a lot of teams in there, so yeah. I mean, I don't even know what to say, Google, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. I done messed up. I lost my train of thought. That dog on cane juice biting. Ask me a question.
Yeah. A question. So, what do you think your Hurricane going to do this coming up season?
Undefeated national champions.
For record-wise, and also, what kind of team you think y'all gonna have? Or you think y'all gonna have like a smash mouth team, or a team that's gonna be like wide open?
So real quick, 7-5, I believe is our record. That's what I said before. I was gonna give a prediction after the spring game, and I don't believe we'll have a smash mouth team. I believe there may be some smash mouth moments, but that will not be our identity. I believe we will chuck it around the yard. But let me roll, Google, man. I got quite a few in the back, baby.
Yeah.
Much love to you, brother. Thank you, man. All right, man. That's Google, man. For y'all that don't know, that man know any and everything about everybody. So if y'all don't know anything about the Google, man, y'all got to check us out because he quick to come in. Real quick, I got my man Gemini in the building. What's going on with you, Gemini? Talk to me.
What's up, Coach? I disagree with Google, man. I'm gonna tell you why. The old Miami players, right after they make the NFL, y'all players used to come back and always tutor a lot of the younger players. That's where Prime get that from. And I'm glad that Prime get a lot of his friends to always come where he's coaching to help teach the players. I'm sorry. Google Man said it was a problem going up to Colorado. It's not a problem going to any school if you're just going on the history of the school. But now you have the NIL deals. The NIL deals now have changed everything. Look at the player from Georgia. He's now a Trojan. But look at how big his NIL deal is now.
Who is that? You mean I'm lost? The player from Georgia is a Trojan.
Bear
Oh, Bear
Alexander.
Alexander. Okay, yes. Okay, you got me.
Note how he came directly out of Georgia and he was starting. Just said, "Oh, I'm out. I need an NIL deal." Nick tripping.
Kirby.
He went, and now he's at USC.
Mm-hmm.
So is no longer about the reputation of the school or some coaches. Even how many they bring into the league. For some players, this is helping their families at home while they're in school still going forward.
True story. That's true story.
What you were saying about the better players, and I'm gonna land with this. High school coaches now try to get you to play multiple positions rather than develop you just at one position now. That's also a key stopper for a lot of players.
You mean in high school or in college? Talking about high school, they get on to play multiple?
In high school.
And so you're saying the high school players don't want to play multiple positions?
No, the high school coaches are making them play multiple positions. Prime example, I was a running back, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I had speed. The coach knew I had speed, and he knew I also played basketball, so he knew I could jump. What position he put me at? Cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm playing running back and cornerback. Good thing. Thank God I was the second string running back and not the starter, or else I would have been tired out my mind. So most coaches, rather than just develop the running back so the running back can actually learn the position, he's actually learning two positions, and you're asking them to do schoolwork, and you asking them to do extra credit. Come on, man. That's a lot on a young person.
Hey, man. Better make it happen. That's what they used to call a jock. The dude don't never get off the field.
No, I don't disagree with that,
mm-hmm.
but I'm saying we have to look at now is not just the brand of the school. Players now have to market themselves just like the school have to market them.
That's true.
So if the player not marketing himself, or just to say the student don't have the time, or the school is not marketing their players, who are we going to say is wrong in this equation?
I don't know, Gemini. I'll be honest with you, I'll be lying, man.
No.
But I know you're right.
No,
you're 100% right.
So they're trying to multitask and still put out a decent product. So with them trying to do that, you have to use all your resources, but some people at the institutions don't want to use their resources. They're just putting it all on the player. Oh, if you don't do your own highlight videos, if you don't film your own plays, okay, so you want them on the field and in the stands?
Nah, I'm with you, man. Listen, that's a whole different category. I got my man in the back, but you're 100% right.
I got you.
But we definitely could push that. That is a great topic about how to market yourself and get yourself out there. And I could go through a whole list of things about, well, if you choose the school, blah, blah, blah. But some people in smaller schools, they don't have the opportunity. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to stop my dream because somebody else not going to do it for me. But we could definitely talk about that at another time. But I appreciate you as always, bro.
Always.
All right, brother. All right, man. I got my man Shad in the building. Shad, talk to me. So y'all think I'll be knowing. Everybody that's called in so far, Coach be having these numbers up here, man. Y'all stop playing. I need some new callers in here. Shad, what's up with you, man?
Can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Back into a pretty good subject here. I was listening to when Muhammad was talking about Greg potentially being like, maybe a special here. When I think about a player like Greg in terms of whether he's a generational elite talent.
Your phone breaking up, Shad.
Remember Josh Sweat, he committed to Florida State.
Shad, your phone. Shad, we missed. Shad, we missed about the last 15 seconds of what you said.
Am I good now?
Yeah, it's good. It's just going in and out. But go ahead.
Hey, let me call back. I'm in a bad area then. I'll call back.
All right, put that thing in overdrive, man. All right, real quick, before Shad calls back in, kind of to what Jim and I was talking about players being on the field, off the field. I understand where you're coming from. Here's what I know. We're talking about 16-year-olds. We're talking about guys who got energy, plenty of talent. He may not have to be on any and everything. But what do you say? Because here's what I say. I'll be very honest. What do you say to the player, to the teams where they have only two-way guys? Right? You have teams out here that may only field 30 players, 25 players. Somebody got to play. You understand me? It's what it is. You are seeing the high school numbers of football go down dramatically because of technology. Kids don't want to go outside and play anymore. Let's be honest with you. Most of y'all who watch this channel live in metropolitan areas. When the last time you seen kids out in the street playing? Let's be honest. Just, I used to ride through the neighborhood and kids be playing either kickball or football in the street or had the basketball hoop up. When's the last time you saw that? When's the last time you saw a group of kids riding bicycles through the neighborhood? Not the helmets on. I'm talking about riding bikes as kids did. As I have to go back to my
back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again.
Those days. You don't see that anymore, right? You don't see the young men playing out in the streets. Hell, you don't even see them playing at a park. You used to go by every public park or every school that had an outdoor rim. I know I'm speaking of South Florida. I know up north it's a little different, but especially in South Florida, most of our schools have outdoor rims, right, where they play PE. And on a Saturday and Sunday, we done jump the gate to get into those schools to play basketball. You don't see that anymore. You don't see kids playing. These football players, be honest with you, a lot of them only play football when it's football practice or a game. A lot of them don't grow up. They grew up playing Little League and Pop Warner, but we're talking about every day in the street, after school. We used to have to change your clothes to play clothes. You know what play clothes were, right? Them old corduroy pants you done fell down in and put a hole in the patch so they become play clothes, or your mama cut the leg off and now they become shorts. We don't play, the kids don't play anymore. Kids are literally on a joystick playing their brother in the other room and they're in the same house. They don't even play in the same room anymore. So I said all that to say, yeah, throw up, tackle, and all that stuff. But I say all that to say, when these kids are playing, We used to watch Pop Warner. They go out there and play a full game. As soon as that game over, they'll be behind the bleachers playing throw-up tackle. That's what it was. And so now I go back to Gemini's point where I'm waiting for them to call. And I see I got to call it, so give me 1 second, you guys. So now I go to say, when you have these players and you want to be elite, I don't see anything wrong playing both ways. But here's the second part of what he was saying about the film and so forth. Better get somebody to film it. If you want to go to college, especially if you're a DB, I always say this, don't rely on that film. You better get somebody to film you. Because remember, the cameraman, most of the time these schools got a kid up there filming the thing. They over there busy playing on TikTok. How many times you see me do WREs, the play done went all the way to the left, the camera's still stuck because they ain't paying attention. So that's a whole nother issue for a whole nother day. We can go on. 4744 coming to you right now. Google Man coming to you next. 4744, talk to us, caller.
What's up, Coach? What's going on, my boy?
I'm good. Who I'm talking to, man?
Man, this is Brian from Tampa, bro.
Brian from Tampa. All right, what's going on with you, man?
About way before Lauderdale, but Coach, what you saying is right, man. My son is a 10th grader.
Mm-hmm.
And I played old school football, so I tell my boy to play everything. Right now, he played cornerback, he played strong safety, he played outside linebacker, and then the pass was the DN, and then he flip over and go play some tight end. He's learning now for spring. That's how you go to school. When the coach can see that you can play multiple things or do multiple things, especially if you're not overly talented, that's how you go to school.
Yeah, I just used to look at it, Brian, like for example, I used to look at it, you're 100% right. I mean, because a lot of people say, oh, the kids are tired. But believe it or not, do you know, I've had kids play both ways. And those same kids go out to the club that night, to the little teen club and to the party that night. They ain't that tired.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Coach, guess what? I played both ways in high school. Like you say, you 15, 16 years old, bro. You ain't tired.
You might get winded, but you ain't tired.
You ain't tired.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. Like you saying, kids now, like I tell my son, they don't go outside. You're not flexible. So like now I got them doing some things to get flexible, but like you said, because y'all don't go outside and play. Y'all don't jump the fence. You know what I mean? Y'all don't walk around with a football in your hand like we did, going from neighborhood to neighborhood.
Neighborhood, cleats around your neck, tied around your neck. Yeah.
Yeah, Coach. It was like growing up in down South Florida. It was like, it wasn't even about going to college. I just wanted to be all kind of. I want to talk shit. Who can I talk and sell out to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I go today, I know them boys today, you're going to be talking cash, you know what. So guess what? Hey, I gotta have something to back it up with. And as far as the topic of elite talent, I think Amar Richardson was our last elite talented guy.
You think so?
I look at him. I look at him as the one guy that could have played on any Change team in any era.
Okay. Now listen now, and when I'm talking to you, I'm not talking about. So when I make this judgment, I'm not looking at Amar Richardson as a Cane. I'm not judging him against just Hurricanes. I'm looking at the scale of college football, and I'm not saying he wasn't very, 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 very good, but we're talking elite. Okay, he could play now. Don't get me wrong, but go ahead.
Amar was a dog, Coach. Amar to go get it. Richardson was the dude to go get it. You put him up. You name me one person that you saw cover Amar Richardson 1-on-1. Hell, even his own. If you try to bracket it, he was that dude.
I could take that.
He was that dude. And think about it. I don't even think he played with a quarterback that was really, you know what I mean, that could really get in the ball like that.
Okay, I could listen. I could take that. I'll take that, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go back. And I'm gonna watch Amar Richardson again. Because again, Coach could always be wrong. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna look at. I remember watching him play, and like I told you, at the time in which those guys played, I watched Hurricane game, but I wasn't in it like I'm not because I was coaching, right? So Saturdays I'm breaking out film and meetings and whatever. But I'm gonna definitely go back. I'm gonna do that tonight, matter of fact, and I'll go check out Amar Richardson. I know he got a highlight tape and some of his games and stuff. And I know he could play.
I think before that neck injury, I think he was, he was already that guy. But I think he was, to me, I think he would have been our last first round pick.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out, and I'll definitely bring that back up.
And like you say, I totally agree with you that we got to get Ohio State out of South Florida. I don't know. We're gonna. I think Cristobal may have to call in some of his Cuban goons and make something happen. Start breaking some legs around there. Get these boys up on out of here. Cause right now, boy, them boys robbing us blind.
They killing us, boy. They killing us, man.
They
right
killing
now.
us, Coach.
They killing us,
Coach. And that's our problem. We can't keep our elite talent here. Like you can't say South Florida is one of the hotbeds of recruiting and then say we don't have enough talent on our team.
Come on.
To me, it's like an oxymoron.
Yeah. Nah, you're right. You're right. At least not to beat Duke. Yeah. Come on, dog. But anyway, that's another story for another day, dog. Brian.
Yeah, come on, bro.
I appreciate it. Let me get these other callers in.
I'm even say North Carolina, bro. I'm a came back from the 8. I done seen all the championships. Like, man, North Carolina, bro. Come on, man.
Right.
Them dudes got on baby blue uniforms. Are you playing?
You're right, bro.
Like, come on, Coach. We losing. We getting beat by dudes that wearing baby blue uniforms. Come on, man.
Baby blue. But listen, man, let me go to get these next callers in, man. I appreciate you, dog.
Powder blue, Coach. Powder blue uniform.
Somebody give me my baby powder. How about?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like we can't be doing that and expect kids. And one thing I always tell people, I say it's harder to recruit your home-based kids than it is to recruit a kid that's far away from home. Because those home-based kids, you can't lie to because they see everything. That's true. Right there.
That's true. All right, man.
Watch you every week.
Brian, I got to get these other callers in. They back there chilling.
Okay. All right, Coach.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, baby.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, my boy.
All right. Hey, big shout out to Brian right there, man. Listen up. Miss Diva won for the $10. Thank you so much. Says my nephew still play football in the open field here. But yeah, this Generation Z and Alpha generation. What's the Alpha generation? Is that after Generation Z? I can't keep up. Is extremely complacent and lazy. Yes, you're 100% right. Thank you, Ms. Diva One, for the $10. Means a lot. Also, I saw something else up in here. Right, this is what I wanted. Smooth. Matter of fact, my baby powder. Put the baby powder on that thing. Where you been at, Smooth? Huh? I need you to call in. You might be on the line back here. I don't know. I need you to call in, Smooth. I'm hot with you. But anyway, we'll talk, man. Good to see Smooth back in the building. Big shout out. All right, Google, man, you back in the building. What's up? Finish up your line. I know you got some rebuttals for what was being said, so make sure you land this plane.
You know how to get on old boy talking. First of all, he's talking too slow. But look, the last call he just called in, big up to him, man. And oh boy, he really lost me first of all, he wrong because I think he missed what I was trying to tell him. Where what I was saying was the exposure these days is everywhere. So back in the days, Nebraska, back in the days, they were on option football. That shit gone these days. Everybody's playing a spread these days. So he completely didn't understand what I was trying to say. Then he really screwed up when he said these high school players need to learn one position. Man, I looked at I done lost my kick. I said, this fool, he really know what he's talking about. He about to play football, and then I put in the chat. In the chat, I said, I hope he don't run the football the way he talks, because he talks too slow, first of all. And then he made the comment talking about these high school football players need to learn one position. Man, you better get out of that crap. Anyway, yeah, that's all I have to say, man. He missed my point. He missed my whole point.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So anytime I call back, I gotta get on somebody's ass, man. That's what I'm doing right now.
I see it.
I had to address him, man.
You're not just on it. You in it. Pause, I guess I should say right there. But let me tell you something, Google, man. I hear what you're saying, man. I totally understand where you're coming from. But let me get this next call in, 5034. We finna get this thing rocking and rolling, boy. But you serious about what you about to say, weren't
you? Yeah, always.
I love it, man. Appreciate you, brother. Coming to 5034.
Yeah.
That's Google man in the house, y'all. He don't play no game. 5034 in the building. Talk to us.
What's up, Coach?
What's going on?
Listen, this is John from Polk County. Listen, I done call you plenty of times. You got to know who I am. My wife always tells me to hang up the phone and shit.
Well, guess what I'm finna do, John? I'm finna memorize this number right now.
All these damn sideline coaches calling you this, and that, and that. And I called last week and I said, these players got to win. I don't care what nobody say at the end of the story. And I came in late, so I've been on that cane juice, just like you. But they got to win. Okay, we can't even get transfer portal people to come play for us. What's up with that? Something going on. Something ain't right. I don't know what it is. And we can talk all day long, and they already got and call you, and everybody got their theory. But at the end of the day, Miami got to win. They got to win some games. Nobody want to come down there and play for that. Everybody want to be associated with the old Miami, the new Miami. Don't question my plane. I'm going to come back up and fly over the mountain. Listen, they got to win games. It don't matter. We can talk all day long. I'm going to call you next Sunday, and I'm going to say the same thing. They got to win games. At the bottom line, it don't matter. They looking at their future. They looking at what they got to do. They got to win games. Who want to come play for a team that is high as Miami and whatever they glory? We can't keep going back to the yesteryears. We got to win with what we got. They got to start over. Them players ain't coming back on the field. Michael Irvin, none of them guys come back on that field. Come on. They got to win some games. Okay? Yeah. So say what you got to say. I'm looking at the TV. I got 31 seconds. Don't
Take
crash my plane.
I ain't going to crash it. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I'm just saying that they got to win games, man. It don't even matter. We can talk all day long. Like I said, my kids play football, but guess what? They didn't play football after their high school year. They went on. They got their own career. Army, teaching at UCF, teaching at University of Florida. They picked They picked what they wanted to do. But what I'm saying is, if these kids want to play football, go to Miami and play football. Don't go there because I got a year left. I think we're wasting so much scholarship on these kids on the last year. Recruit. And like I told you a week ago, hell, I take a one star that's going to go out there and bleed and play ball to what I see now. I mean, they got to win game, coaches, and that's all I got to say. Hey, man, I love your show. I'm out. I'll talk to you again next week.
Always, baby. I'm here at 6:30 every Sunday, man. John from Polk County. Loving it. All right, we coming up here next in the building. Call or talk to us. Give us your name, where you calling from.
Oh, this is Diva One. Do I have an echo?
No, you sound great to me.
It was sounding like an echo in the background.
No, you sound great, Miss Diva One. How are you?
Okay. I wanted to ask you, hey, how you doing? I wanted to ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I actually watched that full draft yesterday, and I really could have found something else to do with the 3-4 hours I wasted. But could you break some stuff down to me? Because, I mean, being a woman, we can be a little bit emotional.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how, I need somebody to explain to me, how does a third string anything and an honorary anything get picked over individuals that actually played? Then I understand, I guess somebody explained it to me, coming in as a free agent, they don't have to pay you the big bucks. They can throw you some crumbs and you got to work your way up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like a mini camp. And I'm like, okay, do you not want the HBCU talent, or you just want to string them along? And that's what I'm having a hard time understanding, because I was just really done with it when they was like such and such an honorary mention. I'm like, an honorary mention? Are you serious? But maybe it's me. I mean, maybe I could be looking at this wrong, because I'm just not that. I'm a band person, so I'm just not that fully invested. I'm kind of happy. At least one of my babies did go on as a free agent to the Miami Dolphins. I didn't even know Miami was still a franchise, but hey,
Now,
I'll
Miss
be
Diva.
nice.
Now, Miss Diva.
But
Miss Diva. Now, we were friends till you said that last little line. Now, you
yeah,
hit
I know it. That's why I had to catch myself.
you hitting below the belt, Miss Diva. Now, if you would have said, you know what I'm
I'm
saying, the
sorry.
Falcons or somebody, the Jets or somebody, you hurt my feelings. We ain't friends no more. But go ahead, I'm listening.
I'm sorry. It just slipped out so it just came out so I was like, oh, so I forgot to talk about Miami. But I mean, hey, Miami, all right. I still respect Miami because they are the only undefeated team, and the individuals are still alive. So I give them their props there, and I think they're gonna forever. I hope they forever stay that way. But that's all I was trying to ask.
Oh,
Could you break all
God.
that stuff down for me?
Oh, God. Oh, okay. First of all, she said the only undefeated team and the people still alive. Oh, God. So what happened when they did? You going to lose
Well,
respect
they
for
are.
them?
Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
I know New England came close and they lost the last game, but aren't those individuals still alive? And three of them? I
Some
thought
of
they
them.
were, but anyway.
You sound like they the Tuskegee Airmen or something. But anyway, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and do this. So to break it down, basically you're talking there are some what we would consider maybe Power 5 schools or PWI schools who have players who fall under second team, third team, I guess, rankings over maybe some starters at a HBCU. Is that what you're kind of bringing up? Hello?
No.
Yeah.
I'm here. I was quiet. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So what happens is, so my question is, you're talking about some players that maybe your second team or whatever on a PWI or Power 5 school versus a starter at a HBCU. Is that kind of really where you're going with
Yeah.
this? Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to, even though I guess I'm going to have, sometimes you just don't want to accept the fact it is what it is. Everything is made so much about race. Because I was one of those ones that was like, okay, if you're good at what you do, they're going to find you under a rock. But from what I was looking at yesterday, I'm like, well, shoot, unless that rock that rock is in the office of one of these franchises, they ain't going to find you because it's like, do you really have to attend the PWI to get drafted?
No, not necessarily, but here's what happens, right? So let me kind of break this down. Since you're the only person on the line, I got some time with this, and I'll kind of walk through this. And this is strictly my opinion. I've never been in a draft room, but this is my opinion of how it works. As these GMs, these scouts, these pro scouts go out, regional scouts and all of that stuff, local scouts, and they look at different players, okay? First of all, you're 100% right. There's a true stigma when it comes to HBCUs football, okay? A lot of people look down on it as if it's 13th grade, as if it's lesser than. And I had a whole thing on with Scotty last night on I can't think of the name of his show. Come on, man. Off script.
Oh, look, I was listening to it. I mean, I was listening to what you were saying, and I was like,
okay. So we'll
wow.
talk about that, but we'll go back to philosophy. But I go back to say all that to say this. You have to remember this too. It's almost like scouting. It's just like scouting when you look at these college coaches bringing in such and such athlete. If I bring in an athlete, and I'm gonna go to college, then bring it up to the NFL. If I, Coach Hayes, come in and I take your son, right, and I say he could ball, he could play, right, but he doesn't have any ranks. He's not no stars, nothing like that. When people say stars don't matter, but when you're talking about your job, okay, and your son, I'm just call him Johnny. Johnny can play. I like him. He does all these other things, but he's also on the board against Timmy. And Timmy may not play as well as your son, but he's on maybe a bigger team, right? He's got he's a 4-star. He has all these things, right? Most people say, I'm going to take Timmy. Why do I take Timmy? Because if it doesn't work out, at least he met the measurables. He checked certain boxes. But if I take your son, who checked none of the boxes except for me, it looks worse on me as me doing my job. Because if your son doesn't pan out, now we've done all this, paid money and did these things for a guy who didn't check the boxes. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So you do the same thing in college.
But
Go on.
okay, let me ask you a question. Have there not been individuals? Well, I know it has, so I'm not going to even ask. Have there not individuals they thought was going to pan out, and they were like, well, I don't, yeah, and they were completely bust.
Exactly. But here that's my point. Exactly right. But what do? They check the boxes though. So if it doesn't work out, right? If it doesn't work out, it's almost like betting. If you go to the horse races and you bet on the number one horse and it loses, yeah, I mean, that's a good bet. But if you go in there, that's why the odds are different, right? But if you go in there and bet on the worst horse in the race and you put your money down, the likelihood is you're going to do what? Lose your money. But if it pans out, the odds are like 50-1, right? That he wins the race.
Right.
So it's the same concept. Meaning, if I'm going to put money into somebody, they're going to check the boxes. They've been ranked, they've been vetted, they've been this, that, and the third. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm trying to tell you kind of what the process is. But if I'm going to put money into a young man who doesn't check the boxes and it doesn't pan out, then that money is gone. So therefore, that's why they invite them to these mini camps where they pay them minimal money. And if it works out, hey, we keep them. It didn't cost us much. Couple hot dog sales on the Saturday.
Okay, I can understand the mini camp.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand the mini camp, but maybe, like I said, maybe it's my misconception of it. It is the draft. Is it safe to say the draft is for the actual draft? Is it safe to say that's actually for show? Because if I'm not good enough to make the actual draft, why am I good enough to be a free agent?
Because
do they have like two lists? Okay, we're gonna draft A and E, but as soon as it's over with, we're gonna go over here and grab B, C, and D real quick. Is it safe to say that?
You're 100% right. We feel that you are good enough.
Oh wow!
You are good enough to come in and try out and maybe show us something that we didn't see, right? And we can put you through some, and it cost us pennies on the dollar, right? It literally costs us pennies on the dollar. But you take a Bryce Young, a CJ Stroud, who have shown it repeatedly over, right? Because that's just like going to the NFL Combine. Why does Bryce Young, why does CJ Stroud and them need to go to an NFL Combine when they've shown they're elite at their position in college, actually playing tackle football, playing games, winning national championships, putting a team on their back, and they still got to go to an empty stadium and throw the ball around the yard?
Well, you know what? Now that's something I questioned a while back. I mean, I might be off kilter a little bit, but I couldn't understand why quarterbacks going to Columbines when that is like the highest needed position ever.
Well, they go
Doesn't
because
some things deserve a pass in a sense?
Let me ask you this: if you have invested $50 million in something, you ain't gonna give nothing to pass. You're gonna check every screw.
Well, I'm not gonna say, well, that's not getting a pass, but you already see like a quarterback, you already see what he's capable of doing because he's the leader of the team. Do you really need him to come in and go through all the rigmarole of the Columbine? What is he gonna do different in the Columbine that he hasn't done in the game?
You ever bought anything for $50 million and never saw it before you purchased it?
Well, yeah, I mean, realistically, yeah.
I mean, I'm just being honest. When you bought your car, I guarantee you test drove it before you bought it. You just went and say, hey, how much it costs? Here you go. Nah, you took it around the block. You done drove a car before, right?
Yeah.
It's the same concept. It's the same exact concept. You got to go test drive it. I got to see what it does. How does it handle? Because every car is not the same. Yeah, he won for that school, but how does he fit when I talk to him? How does he work under coaching? How does he how does he fit when I put him under pressure? What is he like on the board? Can he understand that kind of coaching? So it's a lot that and remember, these are major investments. Major investments. I mean, 40 million, 30 million, 20 million is nothing to sneeze at when you're talking about investing dollars into something. And again, it don't mean it's going to pan out. It's a lot of guys first round draft picks and they be home after their first contract.
I was I think going back to Scotty show because somebody said something that kind of stuck out to me. I know I can't repeat it verbatim, but it was something like they need to start looking at the coaches or holding the coaches more accountable. Does the NFL look more so toward the coaches versus the players? when it comes to drafting. I mean, when it comes to drafting,
I think they definitely take it in consideration, right? They would definitely take a highly touted, let's say if I'm recruiting a defensive back, I think they would definitely take Nick Saban's word over it more than they would say, for example, Mario Cristobal. But when it comes to doing the offensive lineman, they probably give Mario Cristobal's word a little bit more credence than it does Nick Saban. I'm not saying it makes a major difference, but they know that that's their bread and butter. They know that's what they really do. I think it's all like that. I think if Josh Heupel had to speak on Hendon Hooker, right? Josh Heupel is the quarterback, a quarterback coach. They're not going to talk to the DB coach. So I really think when they're recruiting guys, of course, coaches know football, but I think it holds a little bit more weight when that guy kind of specializes in that type of deal.
Now, I'm going to say this. Me and my coworker, I think about 2 weeks ago, we got in a heated discussion and it lasted for about a week because I'm of the notion it's not the coaches, it's the players. He's of the notion, my coworker's of the notion that without a good coach, you don't have a good team. And like I said, I'm more so of, say, football. What does the head, don't laugh. What does the head football coach is the face of the organization, but is he really out here teaching somebody something, or is he sitting there doing interviews? There's some players that got to get out there and run and do all the work. But like I said, my coworker is on the notion without a good coach, the team is not good.
I believe that.
Now,
I believe it's both. Right? I believe it's both ways.
Okay? So you had to be with my coworker.
No, because you're not hearing me out. I believe it's both ways. It's one of those questions of what came first, the chicken or the egg. Nobody really knows. I think it's always going to be a mixture of both. Coaches help players and players help coaches, right? Meaning, for example, I could take, I'll just bring him up. Everybody come. I could take Nick Saban right now. Would you consider him a very good coach? Yes or no?
I would consider him a good face for the organization.
All right. Who's a good coach in your mind?
I don't see a head coach. I might be wrong, and you're a coach, and this is no disrespect to you.
Mm-hmm.
I look at head coaches as just that, the face of the organization. You got your offensive line coach, your defensive line coach. I give those assistant coaches more props because they're out there working, getting their hands, getting in the mud, versus the head coach that's getting $150 million because he got a degree or he knows somebody to get in that position. I'm not disrespecting head coaches, but I don't give them that much props because what is it they're doing?
Okay, so to your point, there are a lot of coaches that coach. Guess what? There are football coaches. Listen to this. There are a lot of football coaches that coach. You know who coaches the defensive backs at Alabama? Guess. Guess, if you had to guess.
I don't know.
Nick Saban. Nick Saban coaches the defensive backs. Guess who coaches the quarterbacks at Ohio State?
Now, wait a minute, hold on. Nick Saban, how long ago was that?
He's still doing it now.
No, but I just don't.
They have a defensive back coach in T-Rob. And I'm not saying T-Rob doesn't coach, but there are guys. I guarantee if you go to Miami's practice right now, Mario Cristobal is highly involved in the day-to-day coaching. Again, he is a CEO and he kind of oversees everything. And there are some coaches who are the CEO type, but they all have a something. You understand? They all have a something because they got into coaching. They didn't just do that. And I get where you're coming from. The guys in the fire should get more credit, but unfortunately, it's never like that. The boss of your company, the boss of any company, the CEO, guess what? They take the arrows when it's all bad, but they also take the praise, right? So when things go bad, who's your team? Matter of fact, Ms. Diva, who's your team?
My NFL team is Indianapolis Colts.
Okay. And then who's your college team?
My college team is Arkansas Razorbacks and UAPB.
So how you think y'all doing right now?
Which one? All three of them need to go back to the drawing board.
You said Arkansas. Okay, anyway, Arkansas.
Arkansas gets in their way. They just get it. You know, you just stumble over your feet. You can be walking good. You just trip over imaginary nothing. It's just, I don't know.
Okay, so my question is.
They frustrate me.
Whose fault is that?
Well, I just sit here and said I'm a person that I believe the players. I mean, the coaches can tell you what to do, but you out there playing, you know what is best. The coach can tell you to go left, and you sitting out there and you see something, are you gonna do what the coach tell you to do, or are you gonna do what at the time?
But Miss Diva,
So
then you hold
I
up.
kind of fault
Hold on.
the players, because coach can tell you all day long, and them kids get out there and do what the hell they want to do.
That's true. But let me go back. Didn't you just praise the assistant coaches for they the one in the mud and they did this? So now when it goes bad,
I give the assistant coaches more clout because they're out there with them every day, working with them every day. They out there in the mud with them. You'll see the head coach riding around on a golf cart. I mean, maybe just me. I don't see and I could be wrong. You telling me that Saban get out there in the mud with them, but I always looked at the head coaches as the face of the organization.
Listen,
the assistant coaches are the one that's out there getting sweaty and dealing with the kids.
There's not one football practice that goes by the head coach is not out there unless he's in the hospital.
So I didn't say he wasn't out there. I'm saying are they out there with them? Okay. When they out there running, they running into them big machines and stuff. Is the head coach out there with them one more time? Putting in the grind, or they just walking around giving orders?
No, I think they put in some work. No, they're doing the day-to-day tasks. No, that's like any other company. But Sam Pittman is an old lineman. God, I've known him for years. I've known Sam Pittman for years, and I guarantee I'm not big on Arkansas football. I'd be very honest, but I guarantee Sam Pittman is big with the old line that comes to Arkansas. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So I'm gonna go back and say this because I got another call in.
My coworker argues about that. So I'm gonna say y'all gonna make me a believer, but I still give the players. In ranking order, it's the players, the assistant coaches, and then the coach.
No, I understand. I believe you firmly that the players have a big part, but I also believe coaching has a big part. That's why I say and that's the biggest problem when we have debates about sport, right? Because there's not a certain criteria. I'm coming to you now, 6907. Give me 1 second. It's almost a Michael Jordan, LeBron James debate. Who's better? Well, it's so many different variables when it comes to certain things, right? For example, I have seen coaches win ball games through their play calling and putting guys in good position. Of course, the players execute it, but I've also seen players win ball game because of their talent. That's why I say it's no real right or wrong answer to that. You understand what I'm saying? You can't.
Okay, wait a minute. You use, and I know I gotta go. Hold on. You use LeBron and Michael. I don't even want to use them. Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Who was the coach and who was the quarterback? Because to me, Peyton Manning was the coach, and Tom Brady was the coach, and the coaches was just there getting a paycheck.
Okay, so who's better?
Between them two?
Yeah.
I can't go there.
I'm
a Peyton Manning diehard fan, so I'm very biased.
But then let's go. So that's my point. You may think that because of what he's done, but then it might be the amount of rings. So Tom Brady beats him out. See? Or is it yards? Or is it this? There's so many variables. But Ms. Diva One, first of all, thank you for the dono. Thank you so much. I love when you came on. And like I said, we got the next call in here. We're going to let this thing ride. I just wanted to eat up some time.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it for those in the chat. Like I said, these are just questions that I needed to ask.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
Anytime. Appreciate it. All right. I was on the phone with Ms. D1. Nobody else calling in. I like to have a conversation. Y'all don't know how hard it is to sit up here and talk to this camera by yourself. So y'all ready to call in, man. Let's light this thing up. 6907 coming to you. Call or talk to us. Give us your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, good afternoon. Good evening, Coach E. Brown.
E. Brown, what's up with you, brother?
Nothing much, Coach. You were never going to win that argument, Coach.
I wasn't trying to win. Again, you know what, E. Brown?
She was not going to.
No, but E. Brown, I can't win the argument because there's not a 2 + 2 = 4 answer. I just wanted her to I wanted her to see it differently, to say, oh, okay, it's not players, it's not coaches. That I was never going to win because there's nothing to win. You can't.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's a never-ending puzzle. You'll never, ever really figure it out unless you just understand that, you know what, on this Sunday, the coaches lost that game. On this Sunday, the dude dropped the touchdown. It hit him in the hands. He dropped the touchdown to win the Super Bowl. And that player lost the game. But is it that one play? Is it? So that went through that. But anyway, what's up, E. Brown? Talk to me, man.
No, you're correct. I mean, because you could find instances on both from both aspects. Well, the coach wins games and the players win games. I mean, like the 2001 University of Miami team, they all felt that Larry, the
Coker.
head coach at the time, could win games without the head coach or what have you.
Mhm.
But the thing is that we it's last week when we were on last week. I called in and I talked about the coaches, the University of Miami, for instance, getting players and then having those players get coached up in order to perform at a certain level.
Mhm.
And it's when you're in the rebuilding stage of a football team or any athletic team or even in the business world. If you're in the beginning stages of a building or something, you need the coaches or the CEOs in place who can find the players, find the coaches, and put those people in place so they can succeed. Once you get that team in there, you get those good players in, and they start winning, and then you start attracting more players who had the desire to win and want to be a part of a winning combination, like the brother from Polk County, like he was saying. Until we start winning, that's when we're going to see. That's when we're going to see the players want to come in and become a part of something where it's a winning atmosphere. But right now, we got to depend on Mario and the assistant coaches to do the things that they need to do in order to get those players that they currently have, get them coached up, start winning, and then we can start attracting those players who could actually come in and make a difference, make a change, whatever.
Well, I firmly believe with that, E. Brown. And here's the art of coaching, right? The art of coaching is the ability to win ball games with lesser talent than your opponent. What do I mean? When you're trying to build something up, and winning is one of the major factors into bringing in big talent, right? Winning ball games is the major factor, right? It's kind of the X factor to these recruits of should I go to Miami or should I not? Well, if I look at this school, they winning ball games, they want me. I want to go over there. Miami, not so much. So the art of coaching is the ability to win these ball games that you're not necessarily supposed to win with lesser talent. For example, are we supposed to beat Middle Tennessee State? Yes, we know that. Our challenge or Cristobal's challenge is to win the games that are 50-50 or underdog games. That's how you bring in the recruits. So, for example, if I'm a big-time recruit and I go to Miami and I say, you know what, man? It was a 50-50 shot between Miami, Florida State last year, right? Miami won that game, right? It was a 50-50. Could have went either way.
Right.
Clemson was already labeled for us as a loss, right? Wasn't a 50-50. We supposed to get our doors blown, right? And we come in there and we beat them. Those are the kind of wins you have to have. You don't have to win a national championship. You don't have to even win a conference title. But you have to win those games that are season blowers. Like you killing it. Like you go and play Clemson at the end and you beat them at the end and then knock them out the playoffs. You see what I'm saying? You have to win those type of games to get guys. You can't just win the games you're supposed to win and then lose the games that are 50-50 or supposed to lose games and think you're going to get players, even if you're at an 8-4 record. Those eight wins better be an underdog game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But I gotta give, like unlike Miss Diva, I gotta give the coaches a lot more credence or credibility rather than she was to give the head coaches for comprising the team and coaching the team and whatever. Because as a head coach, and you should know this because you were one.
Mm-hmm.
you have to have the intelligence to know about the game. You have to have the know-how to interact with your players. You got to have the know-how how to treat your assistant coaches. You got a game plan. You got to do all those things. Now the players, they don't have to do all that stuff. Okay, the players are not doing all of that. That comes from the head coach and from the game plan that he established or the environment that he establishes. So that in itself right there puts more quality or more leverage on the head coach more so than I say on the players. Because, like for instance, I'm going away from football. It's like the Milwaukee Bucks here just recently. They have all the talent in the world, but they lost to the Miami Heat. You know why? Because a lot of people referring to the coach of Miami Heat had a better game plan than the coach for the Milwaukee Bucks. So it could go towards coaching and what have you. So you see you can't say that the coach doesn't contribute to the team. The coach is just driving around on a golf cart or whatever, because there's a method behind it. You know that there's a method behind what you do as a coach. When you're on the golf cart, whether you're standing on the like you're standing on the thing like Bobby Bowden used to do, you're standing on the old tall podium and with the bullhorn and speak with the coach. Yeah. There's a method behind what you do in order to get your team motivated to go out and perform and win.
So here's my point. I'm gonna say this, and to her point, I understand where she's coming from, but here's the difference. As a head coach, and I'll keep it in football. But I'm going to make a parallel, you know me, on Analogy King. Bill Gates is over Microsoft, but he's not putting keyboards in the computer, right?
Correct.
You know what I mean? I know it's a program, so maybe that's but you understand, his job now is to grow the company. You grow the company through the people who work under you. You get good guys to do that, because one guy can't coach 105 players, 125 players. So his job as a head coach is to do what? Is to make sure he has the proper people in place in order to what? Teach what needs to be taught and to execute those things. Second, as a head coach, yes, it is a CEO role. You know, does Elon Musk put the windows in a Tesla? No, he doesn't. He does not. But he probably guarantees that whoever's putting windows in this Tesla is highly qualified to do so. That's his role model. You know, those type of deals. You know, I'm just trying to get it where people understand where, because you're the head of anything, you don't do every job that's under you. You know, you're in charge of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so therefore you have people in charge of those type of deals. And that's what head coaches are. You know, they do shake hands, they kiss babies, they are the face of the program. But they also are the one who stand at that podium and they take the light, but they also take the bullets when they come to. That's what it is.
Yeah, but and then you know, but they, like the analogy you just used, Elon Musk, that he didn't put the window in the car or what have you. However, he formalized a plan, formalize what he wanted, formalize what he wants, he desires. The head coach of the football team, like Mario knows now that I need an offense that's going to be explosive. That offense needs to be that offense needs to be operating on all cylinders when it comes to the main characters on the offense: running back, wide receiver, quarterback.
Right.
So what did he do? He went out and he sought an assistant coach who will implement the plan that he has in his head about what he wants. Okay, he did that. All right, he stuck with the offensive line coach Mirabal, because that's Mario's specialty. He stuck with the offensive line coach Mirabal, because that again is another part of the operation of the football team that he wants to concentrate on. So he was a part of the University of Miami from a defensive standpoint, he was a part of the team when they used to fly around, create chaos. Create chaos rather. And outside creating chaos, they were putting the fear of what in everybody and winning freaking football games.
Mhm.
Okay, so he put that together. So he went out and he sought someone who could probably implement what he was looking for.
Yeah,
So
you're
he does.
right.
So
Yeah, you're right.
even though he's not coaching those different segments of the team, he had a plan. He has a plan in mind, and he put the people in place to put his plan into motion.
No,
So,
and like I said, when you're dealing with big operations like this, bro, I mean, there's so many moving parts. I mean, and this is why I was saying earlier about football kind of going back and forth, right? Remember that Florida Gators game? I forgot who they were playing when the young man threw the cleat at the end of the game.
Right.
I forgot who they were playing. Somebody put in the chat who was Florida playing when he made the tackle on the young man, got so excited, took his cleat and he threw it.
Was that South Carolina? I think it was South Carolina,
was.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe it was. Now, is that on coaches? No. That's strictly on the player. You know you can't do that, right? You know you can't do that.
Correct.
But then let's flip it, right? Let's flip it. Let's take it back to my Canes. And a lot of people don't think about this. Do you remember at the end of that game when we tried to score, who did we give the ball to twice right before? Do you remember who we gave the ball to? We were down on the goal line.
Because
we still could have won the game. I'm sorry, Ohio State, Miami championship.
Okay.
Remember, we still had a chance. Even though it was a bad call,
right.
It wasn't the last play of the game and they just won the game.
Right.
Remember, we gave it to the fullback at that time, Quadron Hill, to try to punch it up in there. And he was smaller than our running backs at the time. Was it a good call? If he makes it, yeah, it's a great call. But that had nothing to do with the player. That just had to do with he wasn't even a hot hand. We could take that same thing and we could go back to Seattle Seahawks when they had beast mode. Dog, you on the thing, you decided to throw this slant. Is that on players?
Right.
I highly think that's on the coaches. Why? It's on the coaches because, bro, I got one of probably the baddest dude on the football field, regardless of position. And I'm going to throw this slant over here. And I have 2 downs to do it. It ain't like I was on the 10 and I had to kind of throw the ball. I got a dude that literally shook the whole team before in his career. And you going to tell me he can't get 3 feet?
Right.
But if the coach, if that throw is made, if that throw is made and caught, nobody's questioning the call. They may be a little rumble. Oh man, it should have gave it to him, but guess what? The call worked out. Great job, Pete Carroll.
And again, listen, after that, you can find examples all over the place because you can go back to the Super Bowl where the Chicago Bears played the New England Patriots back in the 80s. I'm going way back now. And then Walter Payton never got an opportunity to score a touchdown. But the Bears kicked the heck out of the New England Patriots. Because they had the better players.
Right.
Even though the coach made a horrible decision, they had the better players and they were able to win the football game.
LSU, that was the game.
Even though.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is that I got to go back to the Ohio State Miami thing. I think the last play before we lost that game with Ohio State. Ken Dorsey went back to throw a pass and he just couldn't get it off and got sacked. Practically, he threw the ball in the end zone.
But let's look at this. Hold on, but let's go back to that. Let's here go coaching. Remember, Ken Dorsey got blasted in that game. Right? Think about this. And this way before concussion protocols and all of that stuff. But this is a coach knowing his player. Remember, he got rocked. And do we know if he knew 2 fingers were in the air? Do we know who the president was? We don't know. But we put it in his hand at the last second. And he could have been out there seeing triple, quadruple. Like these are the things that I say. There's so many variables when it comes to sport and saying who is the greatest of all time. And I'm looking at, like, here's a prime example. I'm going to go back to Jordan Mike. I'm a Mike guy. But every year LeBron, and I'm not a basketball guy, but let me tell you something. Every year LeBron played, he gets closer and closer to being the GOAT. With the dude 38, 39 now?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just like
I mean, now the LeBron Michael Jordan debate. Listen, I'm old enough to had an opportunity to see Michael play from a youngster to when he got old. I'm old enough to remember seeing LeBron go from a youngster to being old. Now, when we get to the old portions of their career, when they're older players, LeBron is surpassing him big time. Okay,
yeah.
because Michael wasn't winning. Michael didn't win at the Washington Wizards when he played with Washington Wizards, but LeBron is still winning. So, but when they were in their prime, man, that's a tough decision. But boy, I'm going with MJ.
Me
I go with
too.
MJ
I'm still
all day
going
long.
MJ. But
Yeah.
as the years go on, it's getting like he's really starting to catch. And I'm not a basketball fan guy, like I tell people.
Yes.
But I'm just talking about when you start pulling up. Because again, what constitutes better? Numbers, rings, longevity, categories, winning. I mean, mindset. Is it something that you can touch?
All of the
Is
above.
it intangible?
All of the above.
But that's my point. But we don't know what those categories are. You know, it's kind of like the star system. I only use 5 things: size, speed, effort, fundamental technique, and intangibles. Well, 247, they calculate everything. They calculate if his daddy ever played in the league. They calculate if he had a cousin that played in the league. They calculate how fast he ran at a camp. They calculate what team he's on. They have so it all depends on what metric you're using. You know what I mean? In order to determine who's the GOAT. And that's why sport is so hard to determine who's the best or who's the greatest of all time when you talk about sport, unless it's just, it's people still don't believe Floyd Mayweather is the best boxer of all time. It's people out there still don't believe that.
I'll say that again. You say Floyd Mayweather is the best boxer of all time?
Yeah, it's people. You don't believe that?
No, I think.
See,
I gotta go with Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali.
Okay, Floyd Mayweather ain't never been on the ground. He never been on the canvas. Never lost a fight.
The competition. Now, remember now.
See, here we go.
The competition that
Ebro.
Mayweather faced couldn't compare to the competition that Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson faced in that time.
And that proves my point. You just proved my point. Exactly why it's so many different categories and subcategories of why somebody's not better. But you go look at a guy and say, well, can you blame Floyd Mayweather because he was born in this era? And the man got he's a world champion.
That's a good point. But what I'm saying is now
he's a world
let's
champion.
Talk about Muhammad Ali's competition. Muhammad Ali had the big cat, the guy who he knocked out in order to become the champion. What was his name? Sonny Liston.
Oh, Sonny Liston.
Sonny Liston. He had to go through Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Norton. Those are some of the competitors. Those are some of the competitors who Muhammad Ali had to contend with. Mayweather's fights or you pay to see Mayweather fight the same person or the person who he's beaten before, the person you think is going to beat him in an upcoming match. It's the same person back and forth. Not very many competitors to compete with who could get in the ring and compete with him. There's not very many. But when Muhammad Ali,
so what does that mean?
When Muhammad Ali,
all right, listen, I got another call, but I'm gonna say this piece. Hold on, I'm gonna say this piece before I get shot. But Ebron, you right now are truly proving my point about what I mean about how everything is so subjective when it comes to sport. Because here's the deal: not only did Mayweather fight these guys, he beat them the hell up. He didn't just fight them and won, and they both out there looking like Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creed, and he won by a split.
Not to interrupt you, though, Coach. Now, Muhammad Ali beat the heck out of everybody up until 1967, 68 before they took him out of the boxing ring because of the draft. Mm-hmm. Muhammad Ali was beating the heck out of everybody.
I agree, but this man is 50-0. We could go back and forth forever, but E. Brown, thank you. And I'm just saying that what you've done and what I've done has really proved a point to everybody out here. These are infinite arguments. They would never come to an end because there's really no, you can't prove, because once you set your categories in your mind, what's a champion, and I set categories in my mind of what's a champion, it's hard to change that because you are 100% correct. Competition was way harder. But I'm saying, but look, he beat 50 people in a row. Never been on hit, never had a standing count in his life because he's never been on the canvas. See, and so
that's remarkable. That's incredible now. That's incredible now. I gotta agree with you.
In a sport where it take one shot, and he's been rocked before, but again, never went to his knee. But we could talk about that forever, man. But I appreciate you, E. Brown, as always, man. Thank you so much, brother.
All right, Coach.
Thanks, man. That was a good call, man. I appreciate it. I got Shad just calling in right now. Like I said, we just having fun. We're talking about this. And again, when we do these, it's not about proving people right or wrong more than it is just showing this is kind of the same thing with the players and coaches. Whose fault is it? On one day, it could strictly be the coaches. Another day, it could be the players. On one day, it could be a combination of both. And that's what it is, man. So, all right, here we go. We got Shad in the building. Shad, talk to us. I hope you're good now.
Am I good now?
You sound better.
All right. Coach, this has been a good show. This has been more than a Canes Talk Live. This has just been a good live. But to talk back to one of the subjects what I initially spoke about or earlier about the elite player or generational talent, and when Muhammad brought up Gregory Rousseau, and the first two names that popped in my mind when I think about before we even put Gregory Rousseau in a category like that were Jadeveon Clowney and Josh Sweat. Now, obviously, Jadeveon Clowney was better than Josh Sweat because Josh Sweat sustained that knee injury at Florida State. But before that injury, Josh Sweat was 6'5", 230, 240, 4'4" guy, 40. Jadeveon Clowney, freak nature athlete. So going back to your point, no, we haven't had one of those in a long time. And in my opinion, I think Tyreek Stevenson getting drafted in the second round, since that was one of the topics earlier, I think that says something about the potential the NFL, or at least the Bears, have for him, that I think they feel like he has a lot more left in the tank. Because I know we didn't get all of him because he dealt with some injuries. But in my opinion, aside from Duke Johnson, and I know we were in the chat talking about Amon Richards, I think Tyreek Stevenson is the prototype of the type of player that Miami has to get back in the program. And that's even with James Williams being on campus. That's even with Leonard Taylor. That's even with Najee Kelly. I just think Tyreek Stevenson is that type of guy, was that type of guy, and should be the prototype of what it is that we need to look for, especially at receiver and defensive back.
No, I totally agree. I mean, big time guys, the thing with Tyreek Stevenson, I'll definitely give Miami their credit. I mean, he comes from Georgia, right? Coming out of Georgia. I'm always giving him his credit. He finished with us. He's a Cane, but he didn't start with it. Wasn't a guy that came through and through. And those days of guys, a lot of our good players coming in may not be with us the entire time because of what the transfer portal is, right? So we're not going to have guys that grew up in the system. You understand what I'm saying? And that's okay. Yeah. That's the way, that's the lay of the land today. So we may get a lot of guys that's coming in right now that walk out a Cane but didn't start as a Cane. Right? That's just what it is. Because just like the same way some guys got drafted on other teams that were Canes and they ended up going over there for 1 year. Sylvester, for example, was a Cane. Guarantee Arizona State going to put him up on the board as a what? Sun Devil to the NFL, right?
Yeah.
Was what it is. But we're going to also put up on our board Canes to the NFL, Tyreek Stevenson. So it's only fair. It's
Jaden Phillips
came to the league, right? what it is. That's
Yeah,
part of the
first
game.
round came to the league.
And we definitely gonna say, here go look, we got another first rounder to the league, right? And so I get it.
Yeah.
But that's part of the game. So it does go both ways in that sense. But to your point, yeah, we have to win the recruiting battles of the top players out of the Mecca. This is the Mecca, Shad. And we haven't done that yet. I don't care what nobody said. You can say what you want to say about Hakeem Williams, because here's what I'm gonna tell you. Every player you get, just like when I was talking to Ms. Diva One about going to the NFL, every top guy doesn't work out. That's why that's another reason why I start using those chips, because it's a gamble, right? The poker chips. It's a gamble. Yeah. Look at Ryan Leaf. He's supposed to be the best, this and that. Look at my man Russell from LSU, the quarterback. Come on, Jamarcus Russell.
Jamarcus Russell.
No, I would never call those guys a bust, but I would say it didn't work out. It didn't work out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
And to take it to another step in terms of LSU like that, Jamarcus Russell probably gonna go down as the biggest bust, but probably one of the bigger busts. Well, I don't want to call him a bust. I'll say didn't work out. Potential at LSU, and he came to be a quarterback at LSU. Was Russell Shepard I think he was out of the Houston area. He was a Mr. Everything, and it didn't work out for him, but he was looked at as a can't miss prospect. Same thing as Joe McKnight. He ended up going to USC trying to, they were hyping him to be the next Reggie Bush. So, even before you even get to the NFL, you got to get past the college comparison barrier,
Mm-hmm. And so to that point, I mean, and we're talking about, so it's the same concept. It's all relative as you go from college to NFL, as you go from high school to what? To college, right? Everybody was Tate Martell. Didn't work out, right? I'm just saying, it's sometimes, but the odds are, if I get enough of these guys, right?
Oh, yeah.
If I stack enough of these guys year after year after year, if one doesn't work out, I still can rely. Let's say I get 5 of these guys. If one doesn't work out, I still got an 80% chance of one of these dudes work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Success, right?
Yeah.
If two of the 5 don't work out, I have a 60% chance. That's still good odds of what we're talking about. But if I only have one guy and he don't work out, I don't got nothing else left.
Yeah, nothing to hang the hat on.
Nothing to hang the hat on. So that's why when you look at, and I'll bring up Ohio State when it comes to the receiver core, they're stacking them because a guy like G. Scott did not pan out to what they thought he would be, right?
Yeah.
But look what they picked up. When G. Scott didn't work out, Marvin Harrison sure did. Right? When one guy go to
Marvin. Yeah.
So and not even G. Scott, but imagine they lost Olave and they lost what's the other guy named with the pearls on? I'm so glad the NFL. I'm so glad they done bet on the draft when it comes to their suits and stuff. They look nice, man. You know what I mean? But anyway, what was the guy with the necklace on, the pearls and the big moon boots? Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. Yeah.
So when those two left, people thought it was going to be a big drop off when it came to Ohio State receiver. Well, guess who steps up? Marvin Harrison. Boop, pops right in.
And Jigba, he came on last year too.
Exactly. So you lost 2 and 2 more pop right in. It didn't look like you missed a beat.
And they feel Marvin's better than all 3. So.
And there you go. And that right there, that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
Because I just want to ask one last question. I'm gonna
sure.
Get off. You are the only Miami Hurricane fan that I've ever heard speak or say what you say about that title game. About regardless of the call, we still had a chance to win the game.
We did.
And I just want to know, why don't other Cane fans look at it that way?
Because you just said it. They fans.
Why
I'm a fan too.
Why do we have to? I know, but why do we have to continue to talk about the phantom flag call? Okay, it's a phantom flag call. It went to overtime.
True. You're right.
So, it's not like you said, Coach. It's not like that was the last play of the game, and
You're
we
right.
didn't have any time left.
So Shad,
my
to your
thing
point, you're right. A
is
lot of people want to stop it like that was the call that won the game, and it technically wasn't. It was a call. It was a big momentum shifter, right? It truly was, but it didn't. It wasn't the end of the game. It should have been the end of the game in our favor, but that particular call did not. It's not like we didn't get a chance. Sometimes if it was a call where you call a dude out of bounds and it could have been a first and we lost the ball and gave it back, that's different. Yeah, I mean, it was a bull crap call. By all means, not taking anything away from it. But what I'm saying is, here is where the coach, well, now I blame the coaches, is you come back and you pound it. They stuffing us up the middle. They were doing that all game. We were better off tackle, and we give it to Quadron Hill trying to go through the A gap or the old school 1 or the 2 hole. And he's the fullback, but he's the smaller of all the backs we have.
yes.
And then remember, like I told you, Ken Dorsey had got split back there. So when he tried to come out and throw it, he probably was seeing 10 different people when he went to throw that doggone ball. So, yeah. So again, did it take the momentum? Yes. But that is football. And one thing I know about football, that one call or any one drop or any one slip or whatever is not why the game went the way it went. But unfortunately, the closer you get to the end of it, the more important it is, right? Because you don't have time to make up for the mishap. If you make a mistake in the first quarter, it's not as detrimental as it is at the same time in the fourth quarter, because the clock is your enemy at that point. And so, yeah, I've always said that. I've said that way back when. We still had a chance to win the game and go down, and we just didn't get it done.
Yeah, but you're the only Hurricane fan I've ever heard say that.
Well, I appreciate it. At least I'm number one in something.
I've thought it, but I've never said it. But you're the only one that has ever said that the game was not over and there was still time to win the game. And you can argue back and forth whether or not the game should have been that close, whether it should have came down to that play or not. Understand the gruesome injury that happened to Willis.
Yeah.
And I know that took some win, some sail out of the wind. But at the end of the day, it was still enough talent on that team for that game to, I ain't gonna say it should have been like Miami versus Nebraska, but that should have been a smooth 14-point victory.
Easily. Real quick, let me do this real quick. Dre, appreciate you for the $15 on Cash App. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate that. All right, man. Dre 80 in the building, always supporting this program. But no, Shad, like you say, you're right, man. I'm gonna make you the last call. I'm about to get off here. I think Miami Flo and the boys got a show tonight, so y'all go check them out. But we had, like I said, almost 200 people, over 200 people in the chat. Like I said, we just chopping it up. It is slowing down. I do want to bring this up. FTW says Zay Flower was overlooked too. I'm gonna say this, and again, I just call it what it is. If I'm Miami, I'm not saying I wouldn't have picked up Zay Flowers, but Zay Flowers turned into something. I firmly believe Zay Flowers needed to be where he was in order to be who he is. What do I mean? He needed to be a big fish in a small pond. He needed to be the man. Does that make sense? Sometimes you can come around all this talent and get overshadowed. You understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense, Shad?
Yeah, I think about that all the time because I don't like to project another player's success at another school to their success in Miami. I don't think our coaching situation would have been as beneficial for Teddy Bridgewater as it was at Louisville. Not saying Teddy couldn't have played at Miami, because he could have played at Miami, would have probably been good at Miami. I don't think Teddy would have been as good at Miami as he would have been at Louisville when you look at the turmoil that was going on. I feel that way about a ton of players that have left Miami and went off to do good things.
Now, you know what? And you make it 100% right. If Teddy Bridgewater comes to Miami in the midst of all that foolishness that's going on, he may not turn out to be the player he is. He may have. We'll never know.
No.
But he also got into a program where expectations weren't high, and he could become the baseline, right? Louisville was a basketball school. So whatever Teddy Bridgewater did created the baseline. He was the pioneer, him and Charlie Strong. And then once he got Teddy brought in Eli Rogers. And then they got Keith Brown out of New Orleans. And they got like 33 players from Miami to go to Louisville. And ever since then, that program has kind of followed that blueprint, even though they changed coaching.
And the same goes for Lamar. Lamar would have been beneficial here at Miami. Not in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Not what we had going on. I mean, it's good to look back hindsight now, but no, But that's just how it is.
No, I agree, man. I just look at it, Shad. I look at it like back to the Zay Flowers thing. I'm gonna say this, and y'all don't Twitter me to death. But Zay Flowers, they are all caps too. With emojis. Zay Flowers coming out of high school, to his own admittance, he said, I was small. I think he said he was 150, 155 coming out of high school. If I look at the roster, maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember when he came out, but I think everybody we took was way bigger than him, even Xavier Restrepo.
What? Was he a junior?
I don't know.
He came out. Was he a senior when he came out?
Who, Zay Flowers?
Because I was I'm talking about. Did he declare as a senior or did he declare as a junior?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Because the reason I say this, I understand our wide receiver rooms here kind of recently. I don't think nobody hindsight probably say we will take Zay Flowers over Mark Pope and D. Wiggins, but at the time, I mean,
and here's the funny thing. Can I say this? Can I say this, Shad? He's 5'11", 170 right now, right? Coming.
So there's DeAndre. That's DeAndre Smith or like Rashad Green or something.
Yeah, but he's a 3-star. But he's the same kid that the Miami Hurricane fan base is mad at now that Cristobal is getting. This is the part I'm not understanding. He's the same prospect.
That's why I do not follow recruiting.
Me either. He's the same prospect. He is the same prospect that we're getting in South Florida right now. Let me pull this up. Because if I go look at, hold on. Almost cut the live off. This is stuff that kills me. This is why I say you can't make people happy. Right now, in 2024, the 2024 prospects. See, we want everything after it's good. Okay? There's a receiver coming in. We don't even have a receiver coming in right now. But let's just say, for example, Dylan Day. Dylan Day is a safety, 3-star. He's the 58th at his position, 18th in the state, right? From Louisiana.
Yeah.
But if I go look at Zay Flowers, he was 135th best receiver and 163rd best player in the state of Florida. And we saying he got overlooked.
That is prime Boston College, Louisville type of player right there. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's my point, is that we're mad because we overlooked him. But if we would have picked him up and said, who in the hell is Zay Flowers? He's ranked 163rd in Florida, and we have to take those kind of guys? Right or wrong? Am I right or wrong, Chad?
You're right.
Okay, Chance Robinson.
That's what I say. I don't get any discussions.
Even Chance Robinson. Chance Robinson, 6'1.5", 190, 4-star, 23rd at the position, 24th in the state. And people still complain about him. Now, I'm going to be very honest. Here go Coach Hayes. I got to call myself out. I'm not mad that we got a Chance Robinson. What I'm saying is we have to get, with the Chance Robinson, we have to also make sure that we get a Jeremiah Smith, the Hakeem Williams type kids, that we have to get the elite guys coming out of high school in our area, as well as Chance Robinson.
Exactly. Okay, I'm looking at 247 now. The year Zay Flowers came out. The number one, I remember we was on Mark Anthony Richards, which is Amon Richards' brother. That's the guy that we was after.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember the name Steel Chambers. Again, these guys are rated way higher than Zay Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Mario we got Javon Wilson at Oregon. Let's see. Let me go to our particular for a second.
I can look right here. I'm looking at it right now. So right now, coming out, who signed with us was Jeremiah Payton. He was a 4-star.
No one's taking him over. No one's taking Zay Flowers over Jeremiah Payton.
Let me look at receivers because I'm sorry, I picked him up. He's a receiver. Let me look at other receivers because Keontre Smith, cornerback. Yeah, we didn't even get no. We had one wide receiver in the top 50. Here we go.
Receiver.
Yeah, no receiver.
Yeah, that
Larry
2019
Hodges.
class, that was after that bad 2018.
We took Larry Hodges, the tight end.
Okay.
6'2", 234. I mean, he ain't a receiver. Sam Brooks. I'm just trying to see, man. I'm just trying to look at players. Lord have mercy, we probably could have took Zay. We ain't got no receiver. I need to go on and shut up.
No, let me see.
Damn, do we have any recruits? Yeah.
I'll probably go back to, I guess, looking at the composition of the team, because we got Brian Hightower in 2018.
Bro, we didn't even take, hold on, I'm sorry.
Receiver.
We only took one receiver that whole class.
Yeah, I think we may have had, I don't know what the room was looking like. D. Wiggins was a take in 2018. So I don't know what the room looked like, but no. Especially I know the guys that we were probably after at that particular point in time. So no, no.
Yeah. So anyway, I just want to put that out there, Shad. Let me go and get off this deal. I just want to put that out there for people to understand.
Right,
like,
man.
no, you good. Right? I'm just saying, I just want to put that out there to say with the Zay Flowers thing, I understand he turned into be a great player for Boston College. He turned out to be a good player, got drafted, and I think the situation worked for him extremely well. But again, I'm big on the fan base. We want to cry on one end, cry on the other end, but not say why we crying. You understand what I'm saying? Like, oh, we looked over. Yeah. Ain't nobody said that when Zay Flowers went to Boston College, and I wasn't doing YouTube then. Now, one person said, man, why in the world we took this dude over Zay Flowers? I guarantee that, boy. And that's what I'm talking about. It's the gamble. You never know what's going to pan out. You never know. This guy may turn out. Now, the likelihood, you're playing the odds, but the likelihood, Shad, is what it is, kind of what you see. Think about it, bro. That dude was the 100 and what? The 170th best wide receiver. He ended up being a first-round pick. That boy beat the odds.
Like I said, I'm just looking at the top receivers in Florida from 2019. John Mechie was a guy.
Yep.
It's a lot of regrets, I guess.
It is what it is, man. But anyway, Shad, I'm about to get up at this joint, man. I'm gonna hit
All
you.
Right, man.
All right. Listen, appreciate everybody that came through, man. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Had a great Canes talk, man. Like I say, it kind of slows down a little bit, but do coach a favor before you get out of here. When I drop these WREs, there we go. See, look at that. Need WRE Dwight Phillips Jr. Coach Cash App $2. I appreciate you. Thanks, Reggie. But hey, speaking of WREs, when I drop them, do me a favor, man. Put these things up in the message board for me. And I'm trying to drop them as they commit so to catch the algorithm and get them going. So if you can, do me a favor, tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's get that algorithm going, man. Let's get this thing jumping. And I think we just hit 32,000 subscribers tonight as we were on the line. Let me make sure. I'm live. 31,800. I was off by 200. So we did 31,800. So let's get this thing rocking and rolling, man. We definitely can make it happen. All right. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Y'all go check out Flow. I think the boys over there rocking because they be having a they be having a breakdown music on, man. They be making it happen. So thanks a lot. Appreciate you guys. And as always, go Canes. And Coach Hayes will catch you at 50-yard line. Peace. Somebody pass me my cane juice.